Hi, I'm Hazel. It's Saturday again, which makes it time to sit down and catch up on the WoW news of the week, what I've been up to, and answer some of your questions. This week, Blizzard has announced that they are dropping the price of the character cloning service for Classic from $35 down to $15. If you're out of the loop on this, this is a service they're offering that allows you to copy your Classic character to both the Classic Era realm and to TBC, so that you move on with it, but you also still have a version of it to play on Classic Era. To reiterate, doing one or the other is free. You can move your character to Classic Era for free, you can move to TBC for free. The fee is if you want to do both. Obviously, $15 is better than $35. It feels a little bit more in line with what we had expected them to charge in the first place. Having had this whole conversation has just made a lot more people think about how it's not $0, and obviously they've kept this data anyways. You could make some kind of argument about how making people pay to do both will increase their level of investment or commitment or something, but at the end of the day, it's a microtransaction, and they're always going to feel really artificial. Speaking of TBC, that pre-patch is coming up this week on May the 18th, and that is bringing with it Blood Elves and Draenei, as well as some realm connections. They are connecting together some Classic Era realms to have more people to play with as the majority of the population moves on to TBC, to make sure there's still someone kicking around on your Classic Era realm. This week, content creator Sloot did a WoW dev interview with Morgan Day about patch 9.1. It's about an hour long. I will link it below. I watched through it this morning, and here are my highlights of news from that interview. So on the topic of alt catch-up, we already know that we're going to be able to transfer Soul Ash to alts in 9.1. There's a account-bound bag of Soul Ash that you can buy within Torghast. We also now know that Soul Ash in general will drop at a 50% increased rate from the existing layers. So that's going to be awesome for crafting new legendaries. There are new legendaries coming in 9.1. There are Covenant legendaries on the way. They also mentioned you will unlock the powers for those Covenant legendaries just at a very early renown rate. They won't cost anima or anything, so that's not too bad. And it will not be too tough to get your Soul Ash to get those up to rank 4 or to get alts off of the ground, that kind of thing, because you're going to be getting Soul Ash 50% faster. They also said there will be an increased amount of renown catch-up to 40. We already have renown catch-up, so this implies that that is going to happen at a greater rate. And that was it for alt catch-up. They did say there will be no mini raids planned for this expansion, so no 2 to 3 boss raids in between tiers to tide us over. Nothing currently planned for Shadowlands, but it is a concept that they like when it makes sense, and they will potentially do it in future expansions. And then in the Mythic Plus conversation, they were talking a bit about Mythic Plus score, and one tidbit that they noted that I thought was kind of cool is that in 9.1, if you finish a Mythic Plus run and anybody's Mythic Plus score improves as a result of the run you just did, everybody in that group will get a little bit of extra valor in their chest at the end. So that changes functionally nothing, but that's kind of nice. Those were my favorite bits from the interview. On the topic of Mythic Plus score, not something from the interview, but just in general, I've been reading some discourse online about whether or not people are going to still continue to use Raider.io on top of the new Mythic Plus score coming in 9.1. The in-game Mythic Plus score will show you the highest key level that a player has completed in the key that they are applying for, as well as their overall score, and the score takes into account tyrannical and fortified performance, but it doesn't show you things like your raid progress, and it doesn't show you things like alts or rolls, and that's something that some people think they're going to continue to want to use Raider.io for, which is certainly fine. My impression is that because the new Mythic Plus score is default in-game, it has enough info to be the functioning metric for most Mythic Plus pugs out there. I'm guessing, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm guessing that most people trying to fill up a group for their Hull 7 are not overly worried about somebody's raid progression, but would love to know what the highest Hull's key that applicant has completed in time. This isn't like a thing that people have to figure out or anything. It was just something I was thinking about recently. It's not uncommon for tools to remain active, but become a little bit more niche once the main functionality gets kind of cannibalized by Blizzard. So I'm assuming that's what's going to happen here. On the patch 9.1 PTR this week, we've had a new build, and it is being reported that sockets and Season 2 Conduit upgrades have been dropping rarely from the Adamant Vault's bonus levels of Torghast. This is not the only place for you to get sockets and Conduit upgrades. Those are also available from a new Maw rep coming in 9.1 in Korthia, the Archivist's Codex. But I am intrigued by this hint, and this isn't in the notes yet, this is just something that's been seen on PTR. Intrigued by the possibility that there may be multiple sources for these things, because when conduits were tied to Venari rep, I just didn't get any. But, maybe I would do them, maybe I would do Torghast for them, and then if they're, if they continue to be available from rep, then you don't have to do Torghast for them. Options, I think, are good. It's worth noting that Adamant Vaults are not a default 9.1 Torghast thing. They are bonus levels that you unlock at the end of your Torghast run if you scored particularly well on that run. We also had some more raid testing this week. I have now seen every fight of the new raid with the exception of Sylvanas on heroic difficulty, and so far I am so excited, and yes, I say that every time. Yes, I am easily excited. I don't care. These new fights look really cool. It's gonna be a good time. There's a lot of variety in that raid, and I can't wait to get in there on live servers. In my life this week, I got my second dose of my vaccine this week, and then I booked a day off for recovery, which turned out to be a good call. I was a little under the weather for about 24 hours, but I decided to assist me in passing time, I would pick up Stardew Valley again, so I started a new Stardew Valley save file on my Nintendo Switch on patch 1.5, and I am fully recovered from my vaccine at this point, but I am not recovered from my Stardew Valley addiction. I don't have any self-control with that game. And questions for this week, Ashley asks, is it worth it to grind Venari rep? I absolutely hate the Maw, and I do not want to travel there for any reason if I can avoid it. Ooh, I feel you. So worth it is always going to be a personal evaluation. You look at what is offered and then you decide whether that's worth it to you. What Venari offers is a lot of 9.0 stuff. The sockets and the conduit upgrades that she has are only for current patch stuff. You're not going to be able to use them on 9.1 gear, so I wouldn't worry about her rep for that. However, if you are a mount and a pet collector, there is one mount tied to her rep that is already in the game. That's the Bound Shadehound puzzle. You must complete her reputation to start that. I'm working on it right now for that reason. And then in 9.1, there is a new mount and pet attached to Venari Paragon rep, it's looking like. So if you are a collector, then you will want Venari rep at some point. What I've been doing is just clenching my way through the weekly quests and then not worrying about daily quests and accepting that I'm going to finish it eventually. I'm assuming, and actually I should know this and I don't, I'm assuming that because there is Venari Paragon rep in 9.1 that there will be new Venari rep granting activities. I don't know that for sure. Maybe they expect you to continue doing the existing weeklies, but it wouldn't surprise me to find out. And somebody already knows this, whether or not there's new Venari rep stuff, so that maybe you could do Korthia stuff, because you're going to be in Korthia anyways for other reasons. Maybe. Mighty Bolamite asks, have we been able to get in and solo island expeditions yet? And I just missed that news, and if so, have you tried it? So I logged onto PTR just now just to double check, because I had the same feeling of, I thought that was coming, but I haven't heard anything about it in a while. Did some digging. It is not on the PTR. It is not in the notes. It is not currently working in the 9.1 PTR, so it does not seem like we are going to be able to solo island expeditions on the 9.1 in the 9.1 inning. I dug around a little bit and found that Ian gave an interview in February where he said that that is something that is planned. We just have no indication of when. And Valley asks, as a new pet collector, is there any reason to collect the maximum 3 of the same pet? What do pet completionists do about this, and why? So this is kind of some people do and some people don't collect all 3 of each pet. Now, of course, that there's no overarching pet cap in 9.1, anybody could collect all 3 of each if they wanted to. The reasons for having more than one of a given pet: firstly, you can use them all in a fight. If you had 3 Ickies, then you could go into battle with 3 Ickies, and maybe there's a fight where that is better than having 3 different flying pets. So it lets you wage them against one given fight. The other reason for doing it potentially is there are a couple of pets in the game that will have different cosmetic appearances under the same pet name. An example that comes to mind is the Valley Chicken Wild Pet. There are different colors of chicken, but they're all Valley Chicken. There's actually more than 3 colors, so you can't have all of them, but people will pick their favorite 3 and then tame 3 of them so that they have 3 different options of chicken color. I do not do this. I don't think it's that important. There's been one fight in memory. I want to say it was like an Argus Family Fighter achievement fight of some kind where I had to go and get a duplicate pet to get past it. And then I'm pretty sure I just released the duplicate pet after I did the achievement and I never looked at it again. I very much like having my total pets match my unique pets. I just carry 1 of each thing. And that way, if my total pets is higher than my unique pets, then I know that I have an extra pet in there that I need to cage and sell because I picked one up that I already had. So people do collect multiples for those reasons, but you don't have to, and I don't. So I wouldn't worry about it unless it's something that appeals to you. And that has been my week. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions you would like me to answer in a news video, please leave them in the comments of the most recent one and include the word question to help me find them. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.